royal family. Welcome back. All right. Wendy Williams, let's just get straight into it. Thanks for clicking on the video. If you're new here, welcome. Returning royal family members, you already know how this thing goes. All right, so Wendy Williams, let's just get straight into it. Now, I did talk about Wendy Williams on a couple of episodes of the morning show live. Thanks for all who are watching. If you are not aware of what I'm talking about, every morning I go live and we just chit chat, cover a little bit of hot topics, the Morning Boogie live morning show. Make sure you check it out. So I talked about Wendy Williams a few times in several of my videos. So, okay, you guys see her recent actions, right? You see all of these shenanigans and things that are going on recently on her show. And of course, people are offended. People feel that she's insensitive, rightfully so. This is becoming a pattern. It's just going from bad to worse because Radio Wendy was very offensive. She was more gossipy and rumors, but now it's just gotten bad now, right? Just to see her age and grow in her field of media. What's really going on? Okay, so like, is this really just all sensationalism? Like, is that what it is? Which is pretty much meant to shock viewers, to get them to have a reaction, much like I'm doing right now. You know, everybody's talking about this situation. Twitter is blowing up. All social media platforms are blowing up. You know, vloggers, bloggers are making videos, you know, sharing blogs and things like that. So is this really just sensationalism, right? I mean, it gets people talking. Case in point, here I am. And it gets people to also tune into the show to watch, to see what is Wendy going to do next, right? Which drives up ratings. And that's a benefit to the network, right? That's what they hope for. They hope that the ratings go through the roof. So that's one question. Is this all just sensationalism? Another is, if this is not sensationalism, right, then what the heck is really going on with Wendy? Like, for real, for real. I know a lot of people don't care about her. They don't see it for her. They just don't care. They don't tune in. And yeah, you have the option not to tune in, but you know, it's a hot topic, so why not? So I recently talked about Wendy offending the cleft community. This was on one of my What the Friday videos, every Friday right here on the channel. She offended the cleft community, right? So much so that it got Cher to get on social media and tell her about herself. Cher called her out, and Cher even started a petition to get Wendy removed from her daytime talk show, right? So Wendy did apologize for that incident, and then she also made the offer to, or said that she would be donating to the Cleft Palate Foundation, one of many, and she will also do a better job of educating herself and her staff and audience about the cleft community. Okay, that was back in January. And that was because she made an offensive gesture in reference to actor Joaquin Phoenix, who recently won an Oscar for his Joker movie. Bravo. She made an offensive gesture. So Joaquin Phoenix has a cleft lip. So what Wendy did was she took her finger, pulled up her lip, and tried to imitate having a cleft lip. So that's where that all started. Now, some people will say, this is just the way Wendy is. I have said that I am not taking I don't take Wendy seriously, and I don't mean that to dehumanize her. But when these things happen, this is not new for me. I grew up listening to Wendy Williams, as many of my viewers, you know, I talk about this all the time, on radio in New York, right? So Wendy had like everybody tuned into her show because she said like the most outrageous things. She said things that people were afraid to say. Maybe some people were thinking it, but they probably had a little more tact and not said it, you know, as to embarrass people. She had like, oh my gosh, just like record-breaking interviews. She got cussed out by Judge Mathis. That famous Whitney Houston interview. Little Kim was on there back in the day telling her about herself. It was always something, and everyone tuned in Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. They turned on the radio to hear what was Wendy going to say now. And it was even hype, even when she didn't have guests. She was always talking about what's going on and breaking stories and just gossip. It was salacious. Everybody was tuned in. Again, she has a track record of being outspoken, in my opinion, rude sometimes, nosy, and sometimes tacky, but does this give her a pass to say what she wants without any repercussions? Like, that's just the way she is. That's just the way they are, right? It's oftentimes used, but does that mean that every time they say something that is offensive or insensitive, we're just supposed to brush it off and say that's just the way Wendy is? Let me know. Like, are we too sensitive in this social climate these days? Or is Wendy just out of her mind and just doesn't care anymore? Like, what do you guys think? I really want to get your feedback, because a lot of people have a lot of opinions. And I don't think that anybody's opinion from their point of view is right or wrong. Everybody's able to think for themselves. They don't normally exercise that right, but whatever. It just seems like her kitchen table talk, which is a phrase that she uses. She used it throughout the years on her show. Kitchen table talk is what she considers private conversations and opinions that she has with close friends. So it just seems like her kitchen table talk has made its way onto her daytime talk show. But why? Like, why is she being allowed to make these blatantly offensive comments? Right? I always want to know the why. She's allowed to do this. She is on network television, a syndicated show. Why is she allowed to make these comments? And it makes me wonder, is the network behind this? Again, sensationalism, maybe, ratings are not the greatest. It's the beginning of a new year, and money has to be made. So it just makes me wonder, like, is the network behind this? And I did notice that the network has yet to make any statements. They haven't come forward to make any statements as far as what she's been saying and how many people and different communities and groups that she's been offending. This is it's not about Wendy not having an opinion or not being able to give an opinion, but on a platform that is as conservative as daytime television, how is she getting away with this? That's what I want to know. How is she getting away with this? And what I mean, how is she getting away with this? Not public scrutiny, because I don't think people are letting her off the hook. She is on a conservative, what's considered a conservative network, daytime television, right? Considerably different from late night TV. It seems like you can kind of get away with a little bit more on late night television. She is on daytime television. How is she getting away with this as a black woman in media? You guys saw, I think it was on Monday, a woman who died, Drew Carey's ex-fiance. She was murdered, okay? And it was just horrible. It's just bad. And Wendy made a joke about how this woman died. On her television show, made a joke, made a gesture, and put her hand over her lip. The audience, they had their reactions. Some of her staff looked a little bit flabbergasted, they were not expecting her to say this. This wasn't discussed in the Hot Topics meeting before the show was aired. So it's just why would she think that this is funny? I don't think that Wendy doesn't have any sense. She can be tacky, but people know what they're doing. She's been in this game for a long, long, long time. Why would she think that that is funny? Something isn't right, man. Something isn't right. And I do hope the truth comes out, because there are people who are on public platforms who've been canceled, fired, canceled, tossed to the side for similar offenses. So I'm just curious, how is she getting away with this? Like, you know what boundaries to push, right? This goes for anyone. You know what boundaries to push with your loved ones, with your friends. Kids know how far to test their parents. Wendy knew that she would get away with this. That's why she said this. Why is she so comfortable saying these things? Obviously, I don't have to go into saying this was wrong. Wrong, if that's the word you want to use. It was insensitive. It was cruel, what she said, among other things, but more recently about this woman and how she died. She died in a horrible way. And she probably was the victim of some sort of domestic abuse. Who knows? It doesn't matter if she was, if she wasn't. Yeah, y'all get what I'm trying to say. So at this point, whatever criticism that she gets, I am sure that she is used to it. It may not even affect her anymore. She doesn't respond like when she says things about people and they clap back with their, responses. She doesn't go back and forth with anyone. I just wonder, is this like a diversion because something is going on in her personal life? Like we've seen that tactic from her before, when you've seen the tactic. She was in a sober house and all hell was breaking loose on the home front. I'm going to be honest. I am expecting her to do or say something else. I mean, I don't tune into her show like I used to when her show first aired. I just don't tune in. It's always all over social media anyway, so there's no need for me to actually sit in front of the television and tune in. But I am tuned in to see what's going to be next from her. So basically, am I doing the network a service? Am I giving them what they want? Are we giving them what they want if they're trying to create all this sensationalism, which again drives up ratings and puts money in everybody's pocket? I mean, in the end, that's what gives the network their bread and butter. And it sucks. It's unfortunate. It is sad, but that's just the way that the world is. Now, as far as apologizing, because everybody's on these apology tours, and fine, if people want to apologize, they have the right to do so. Will she apologize again? And I think she might. She might, but it won't mean much because people are tired of Wendy, rightfully so. In her recent apology video that she did when she made comments about the gay community, about men in dresses, she said, what did she say? Men stop wearing our heels and skirts, or whatever she said. She went on to social media, she apologized, and of course people weren't buying it. She said in her apology that she was out of touch. And I'm listening to this and I'm just saying, I know BS when I see it. I know BS when I see it. How can a woman, right, who is coined the queen of media, Wendy has been in this game for 30 years, if not more. No, over 30 years, excuse me. So how can someone who is deemed or given the title as queen of media be out of touch? I'm not buying that. Then after her apology, what does she do? She goes on and she makes more insensitive comments and she makes more insensitive gestures. And it's like, is she remorseful, or is it that Wendy, along with the network, they just don't care? They don't care because the network is allowing her to say these things without any sort of reprimand. She's not being reprimanded for this. And again, as a human being with sense, we all know what we can get away with. If we can get away with being on our cell phones at work, we most likely will be. If we can get away with like maybe 2-3 times a week clocking in 5 minutes late, we will do it. Some of us will do that. So she felt very comfortable making an offensive comment on Thursday, apologizing Thursday, turning around Friday apologizing, Monday she's too comfortable. And I smell something fishy. Something is up. And the network probably could be very well behind this. So that's all I have to say. Just kind of wanted to share my opinions. Let me know what you think. Please keep it respectful in the comment section. You don't have to agree with anything that I said. You don't have to agree with anything that anyone else says. But let's just be respectful. So any derogatory names or anything like that, even towards Wendy Williams, it's going to be deleted. I don't want that energy in my comment section. So if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for stopping by. Please be sure to hit the like button on your way out and drop a comment before you leave. If you're new here and you haven't done so already, consider hitting the subscribe button. Make sure you're clicking the notification bell. We'd love to have you join our royal family discussions. Check out the awesome content on the channel. There's plenty to choose from. So royal family, I can't wait to hear your comments. Please, please, please just keep it respectful. Like, I want to engage with you guys. I don't want to have to be deleting comments. Just show me love. Show me some love, y'all. All right, royal family, I will see you soon. Until next time, peace.